Welcome to Behind the Beer, where we go behind the scenes to discover the people and roles of producing the product we all love, craft beer. Now, here is your host, Ernest Stevenson.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Beer. Today, we're in McAdenville, North Carolina. Did I pronounce that correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Don't say McAdenville, whatever you do.
I learned early on when I moved down here that it's not Cherryville.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Yep, absolutely.
The least amount of syllables possible.
Yes. But we are at 115 Craft Taproom and Bottle Shop with owner Dewayne Hedrick.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate you doing this.
Yeah. Thanks for being on Behind the Beer.
Happy to do it.
Tell us a little bit about your journey in craft beer.
Well, I'm from Winston-Salem area originally. Started out, that's near Yadkin Valley, North Carolina. Big wine country.
Yep.
So me and my wife started out just, I guess you could say wine enthusiasts. Most people say North Carolina wine enthusiasts because they want you to be different. Man, I tell you, foothills came to town. It was all downhill or uphill, however you want to look at it from there. Just slowly transitioning into craft beer, just being taking part in the hobby and getting to know people around that area, going to breweries, and honestly traveling the country and even the world, just based on breweries, based on beer. Most of our vacations center around where's the closest breweries,
nice,
stuff like that. Got into home brewing for a little while. Moved to Charleston about 13 years ago and really grew up in that scene. When we moved there was
that's an excellent beer scene.
Yeah, it's amazing how it's grown. When we moved there was almost no breweries and no tap rooms. You couldn't certainly go in and sample a beer. And then there again, kind of like Foothills Holy City opened, and it was on from there.
Right.
And so kind of fell in love with that beer scene. And eventually when we moved back to North Carolina, just missed being home. Yeah. And moved to Oak Island, North Carolina, near Southport, and saw a real need for, as people like to say, thirsty. They were thirsty. And no real craft beer there. So saw an opportunity, want to get out of working for other people, and started a taproom bottle shop down there called Southport Tap and Cellar that we still own today.
Cool.
And,
what year was that?
2019.
Okay.
June of 2019, and then COVID hit.
Yeah. So you almost get almost a year in before you.
Almost. Yeah. Loved it down there, but kind of over living on the coast and wanted to be even closer to family and friends. So now we're here, Gaston County, kind of the same deal. Thirsty. People are here thirsty, especially in McAdenville. Nothing to really speak of bar wise, especially craft beer. Right. So saw opportunity and jumped on it. And so far, it was June of 2000. What are we in 24 now? June of 2022. Okay. Opened this place up. And
so you're coming up on 2 years.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and it's been doing really well.
Awesome.
So
awesome. Is McAdenville the only place that you looked at, or did you kind of do some research?
We knew we wanted to move back to Charlotte area, maybe not Charlotte proper. Right. We did look in Charlotte. We looked at Belmont, we looked at Cramerton, almost jumped on a place in downtown Belmont, but walked in this building and just fell in love with it.
So we were talking early on. Tell everyone about this building that we're in.
Well, built in, I'm not sure the exact date, built in the 1860s, mill home for the farm mills, probably called at that point McAden Mills. Well, it's 2 stories originally. I guess it's kind of an apartment type setup, but for people that worked in the mills, and used to be this whole area was nothing but either mill or mill homes. Right. So this is kind of a relic. This is one of the last few standing. And just over time turned into offices and laundromat, and it was a boutique for a while. And now it's a bar, craft beer bar and taproom.
Yeah.
Something that,
it's hard to say how
happened.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, it's hard to tell what this was over 150 years of history.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm a big history buff, so when I first walked in here, I was like, oh, wow. This is...
Well, I don't know how much you know about McAdenville, but, obviously, Milltown.
Nothing.
Yeah. Christmas town.
I know that. I do know that part.
That's what everybody knows.
Yeah.
But it actually has some pretty cool history. The building across the street from us was one of the first fully electrically lit mill manufacturing facilities.
Oh.
Some people will say in the world, some people say in America, it's at the very least this side of the Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
And that was all made possible by Thomas Edison,
mm-hmm.
installing I don't know what the technical term is, but basically a water-powered generator.
Okay.
In the river just across the road here.
Nice.
So I think that generator is in a museum in Gastonia.
Oh, okay.
Part of it's up the road.
Nice.
But so some cool history. It was the 31st. It was called the Dynamo 31, I believe.
Okay.
It was his 31st commercial generator. In fact, one of the buildings is called Dynamo 31 down the road.
Oh, okay.
So pretty cool. He was here. I don't know.
Was the industry textile? Most of...
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Gaston County, that's what they're known for.
Yeah.
Just
this whole area, a lot of textile.
Yeah, between Farr Mills and Cannon and I don't know whoever else, but, we've only lived here not even 3 years, so we're still learning this stuff ourselves.
Yeah.
So, but it's pretty neat. A lot of old buildings.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a nice, I'm not sure if I've ever been actually down this main street, but it's a nice area.
It's pretty cool. You want to, depending on what you're looking to do, you probably want to stay away in December unless you want to see Christmas lights or come have a beer and see Christmas lights.
Oh, there you go.
That's been a game changer, I think, for this town. A lot of people are excited to have us here, and a lot of dads.
Yeah.
They can sit here while, people shop or look at lights. And
right.
December is a madhouse in this place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of foot traffic during that time? Do people park and just walk?
Yeah. And everybody will tell you they recommend walking it.
Okay.
It's the best way to see it. You can drive it, and it's pretty cool, but you're very limited. Some of the roads are blocked off and stuff like that. But if you walk it, it's a pretty cool experience. And
nice.
There's a coffee shop, ice cream shop, restaurant, Italian restaurant, couple boutiques, Santa Claus walks around, Buddy the Elf sometimes. We even have food trucks out here on most days in December. So,
you could just sit here, have a good craft beer, and just watch Santa and Buddy and all them walk by.
Yeah. 100. Well, now Santa and Buddy will walk in here.
Oh, there you go.
Buddy likes a nice lager every once in a while. So
yes,
yeah.
Is that the maple? The maple.
Oh no. Maybe I might try to do that next year. What are they? Yeah, just some maple syrup lager or something like that.
Yeah. But speaking of beer, what are we sipping on here?
Well, because I don't know how to pronounce it. You're drinking Heist TMAVE Pivo. It's a Czech dark lager that Heist made.
I don't know if I looked at the name.
Man, been a big hit.
Tamave Pivo.
Tamave? Maybe?
I think that's how it's pronounced. Tamave Pivo.
Somebody at Heist. Lisa, tell us how to say that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotta say, a little promotion here. We poured that on our Luker Czech Pilsner side pull tap.
Yep.
I'm going to claim it's the only one in Gaston County, but I'm probably wrong. Somebody will prove me wrong. Well, I'm having Royal Bliss's Cali King. It's a West Coast style IPA from a relatively new brewery out of Denver, North Carolina, Royal Bliss.
Mm-hmm. It's been around 3 years. 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
In fact, I think they're getting ready to expand. I think I read something in New Space somewhere.
Cornelius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. It's probably a smart move.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Beer's been really good.
Come to the other side of the lake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. I can always put that on a shirt.
Yeah.
Beer's been great. Good people to work with. It's been a hit so far. And like we were just saying, Denver's one of those places people aren't going to drive out to all the time around here. But if we bring it here, they're excited to see it because it's local.
Yes.
You know, we have that same stuff with Charlotte and Concord and Mooresville. And
do you carry mostly local craft beers, or you have kind of a mix?
A mix, but it's definitely hovers around the 85% North Carolina. Okay. Going back to the Charleston thing, when we can, we bring in some Charleston or South Carolina beers. You know, your Westbrooks, Munkle. I'm a big fan of Munkle Brewing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I would say we focus heavily on North Carolina, especially recently. I think we've just been pushed that way. I'm not fighting it. I kind of love it. But, you know, we have stuff from Jackie O's. We have Weld Works. That's just what comes to mind right now. But
other half?
Yeah, the collabs anyway. And we have some Belgian stuff too. St. Bernardus. Nice. And I never know how to say Orval.
Yeah.
That's about right off the top of the head. That's about what I can think of right now. But yeah, no, definitely North Carolina focused, and super proud to be from the state. And the beer scene is just, I don't know. It's one of, if not the best in the world.
I agree. It has skyrocketed over the past 5 years.
Yeah. So. And the quality.
Absolutely.
You know, I love Asheville. And I love what they've done for North Carolina beer. But man, I'm telling you, Charlotte especially is just the quality of product and consistency has just been amazing to me.
Yep.
So it's cool. It's cool to be here and see it still growing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think, bottle shops kind of on these small towns outside of Charlotte, they're kind of becoming suburbs, but people who live in these small towns don't necessarily want to be that suburb, and they don't want to go into the city to have these excellent craft beers. So bringing them out is very beneficial.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, you're close enough to know, but you're also far enough to know I don't need to try to go into Charlotte on a Friday night. And it might take me 20 minutes. It might take me 2 hours. So, you can come here. And so it's been pretty cool. We've definitely had to educate some people on some different brands. And I like to bring in, I think a prime example is we just brought in some stuff from Forgotten Roads out of Graham.
Okay. Yeah.
And, that has went over very well.
I think is it veteran owned?
It is veteran owned brewery. Yeah. Can't remember his last name, but the owner's name is Ben. Owner, brewer, jack of all trades. He delivered the beer to me.
Nice.
But veteran owned, which we're happy to support. But beer is just phenomenal. Highly recommend if you're in Graham. Or you're actually Greensboro. They have a tap room in Greensboro.
Oh, do they?
Really cool tap room. Their stouts are, they're so good. Unfortunately, I don't have any right now, but they have a lot of their Greensboro tap room have a lot of their stouts on tap, and they also have a good bourbon selection. So
cool.
Beer. But Forgotten Roads it's a great example of kind of underground North Carolina brewery that we like to. I'm still a beer nerd at heart.
Yeah.
I love bringing it. We got some stuff coming from Corporate Ladder and the Veil, and I love bringing that stuff in. But if we can do kind of the same thing, but it's North Carolina based, even better.
Yeah. So. That's cool. So I have to get up that way. Actually, my parents used to live pretty close to Greensboro.
That, like I said, that's just, we like bringing in, I don't know, man. If I can surprise people with new stuff, it's always it makes me happy. Yeah. So, and it keeps the job interesting.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I think you were telling me you checked out a previous episode of another bottle shop owner, which is Brent Voyer.
Yeah.
The Vault Bottle Shop. So, kind of similar situation here. People are thirsty, but they once they get into it, they want to learn and they want to know about different styles, about craft beer. And it's become you become quite the educator as well.
Definitely. One of my proudest things, and it's happened at both locations. It has happened at both locations of bringing somebody in that, their extent of craft beer is Sierra Nevada. No, not picking on Sierra Nevada. Great beer, love it, drink it. But,
absolutely.
Mass market.
I have some in the fridge now.
Yeah, it's always can't ever pass up a Sierra Nevada. But that's the extent of their craft beer. And when you can start educating them, and we have a lot of people, especially in Southport, because it's an older crowd. Retirement age, median age is like 63, I think.
Really? Okay.
They're definitely not used. Their craft beer to them is just an amber ale.
Yeah.
So when you can teach somebody about, don't be afraid to try a sour, don't be afraid to try this IPA. It's and you get somebody. I've got a bunch of customers there that now just will try anything and everything. And when they first started coming in, they're like, "Where's this basic thing?
Right?
Where's the brown ale?"
Yeah.
And that's all. It always makes me super happy and proud. Yeah. And we're doing that here too. I mean, people are a little more knowledgeable here, but still educating them on brands, especially newer stuff. And, I think like Burial, amazing beer. Love Burial. Burial sells itself. We do not have a problem selling Burial. I know if I put Burial cans on the shelf, I'm going to sell out. No problem.
Yep.
Draft, no problem. So you don't want to push them away from it, but hey, you like that hazy Burial. Let's try this hazy King Canary.
Is this your full-time job?
It is.
Okay.
It is. My wife, the better half, I guess you'd say half owner. She does way more work than I do, but
we wish could be with us today.
Yeah. She wanted to be, but unfortunately, because of her other job, she couldn't make it.
Yep.
She works full-time job, so she's the breadwinner, insurance provider.
Nice.
My full-time job is running this place day to day, bartending a couple days a week, and just pretty much GM here. And then social media for both locations. That is a full-time job, if you ask me. Anybody wants to volunteer to take that job, I'll give it to them. And just ordering stuff, whatever. My other location, I have a GM there that handles the day-to-day stuff.
Right.
Joe, shout out to Joe. He's done an excellent job.
Nice.
Because we're 4 hours away.
I was going to say.
So, yeah. No, he, I still order the beer and stuff like that. But I mean, today is a prime example. I sent him all my beer list and said, "Hey man, pick out what you want." I trust him. He's got great tasting beer. He's a good guy. Knows what he's doing. And we have an excellent staff.
That's very important.
We are so blessed to have the staff we have in Southport.
Nice.
They have the same employment issues that Gaston County can sometimes have in Brunswick County. And we lucked up with the people that we have. So,
excellent.
Yeah, we're pretty happy about it.
That is awesome. What does a typical day look like for you here?
Typical day starts at home. It's bar owner's life. I get up pretty late. I'm not going to complain about that too much, but maybe if I'm up before 10, I try to be up about 9:30 because I don't know, whatever little bit of research I've done is like, you got to post social media before 10 a.m. or around 10 a.m. So generally that's what I'm doing. Sitting around, posting to Instagram, Facebook, email list. And then early on in the week, ordering beer and ordering wine, especially for here. We do a significant amount of wine. So it's a lot to stay on top of. I work Mondays here bartending, mostly because that's what I'm doing all day. Between pouring beers, I'm out here counting, doing inventory and stuff like that. So that's generally my day. And then constantly looking at the numbers. Yeah. Like a crack addict. Something I shouldn't do because I can't really control it. But and then we have food trucks here now 3-4 days a week. That can be, dealing with that. There's always fires to be put out. It's maintenance, janitor, beer order, social media guy. It's all of it. Yeah. Even when we go to we're going to head back to Southport in a couple of weeks, and it's just a list of maintenance. We're just going to fix stuff and clean stuff, and that's just what it is for me now, especially there.
Nice.
But mostly social media, definitely, it doesn't seem like it would, but it has definitely taken up a bulk of my days.
Oh, it can.
Yeah.
It definitely can.
Yeah. It's
especially depending on how many platforms you're on.
Yeah. And, we've narrowed it down to Instagram and Facebook. Try to use Twitter or X, whatever. I don't think it really lends itself to this type of business. Talked about doing TikToks. Haven't really done that yet.
You have any dancers here?
I could probably get some customers a few beers. They'll get on that bar and dance. We do karaoke every other Thursday. That's there's some entertainment there. Yeah. I was telling you about somebody singing "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor." I mean, I don't know how many karaoke's you go to and that song pops out. But I definitely think there's, especially at this location, I think there's a short video aspect that we could pull off. But I don't know. I'm gonna need somebody younger to help me get through that. So I'm 45 years old. I'm just now grasping the rest of it. Yeah. So, but even our other location, we have an email that we send out every other week, and there again, kind of not calling anybody out, but older crowd, they just don't want emails. Yeah, they'd probably take a flyer if I'm slow mail, snail mailed it to them. Yeah. But I'm not doing that. That's my days. Just I don't know, man. It's just random, pretty random. Yeah, I think Mondays are the only days where it's kind of like this is what you're doing. Right. So that's pretty much it.
What do people most misunderstand about you as far as this bottle shop goes?
Misunderstand? I think it's kind of a trope. It was Brent. Yeah, Brent said it, and I was like, "Preach it, brother." People think you're just sitting around drinking beer and count money. Yeah, and that is not the case. I drink way less than I ever drank before we started this business. Yeah. I'll go a week without touching a beer just because I don't know. It's like anything else. If you work at McDonald's, you don't eat their hamburgers. Yeah. But I still love beer. Just don't have time, to be honest with you. But, and then the count money thing, we do okay. Don't get me wrong, but this is a low margin business. That's something that I'll, maybe you're not supposed to talk, you're not supposed to talk about money, and I won't give you, detailed figures, but people need to understand this is low margin. And I get it. You can go into a grocery store and buy, hopefully not the same 6-pack, but some of our stuff does cross over. But you can buy a 6-pack of something probably 20% cheaper. And I don't blame anybody for doing that. Right. But you don't need to complain to me about it. Yeah. It's a different aspect. Yes. Yes. And also, grocery stores, it's a different business model. It is. I tell everybody it's the soda business model. I don't know if anybody knows this, but, they don't make money on soda. They lose money on soda. Yep. But nobody walks in and buys a 12-pack of soda without buying that $5 bag of chips that's marked up 300%. Beer is becoming that way. Right. And it's great for the craft beer industry. I think grocery stores really kept a lot of breweries open through COVID, and that's awesome. Oh, yeah. But it can hurt us a little bit. But I think we offer, especially us, and I think most bottle shops, the single beer. You don't have to buy a 4-pack. Way more selection, more rare stuff. Right. A lot of breweries are going to give you first dibs on that cool beer. They're not going to give that the food line. Yeah. Not call out food line, but I shop at food line. I shouldn't say anything. But
well, they usually have a good selection.
Yeah, man, they have really recent years. They have done a great job. That's not something you would ever think to go somewhere you think to go to for beer. Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been impressed. Hair Cedar does a good job. Yep. Have you ever been into Lowe's Foods? They have a beer den. Yes. Say what you want. That's a cool idea. Yeah. And they've definitely gotten me for a $50 dry aged steak because I just drank a 12% stout they had on tap for $4. Yeah. So I don't blame them for doing it, but it's just a different business model. And, people need to understand that. Yeah. There's room for all of us. Right. So just hashtag support local.
There you go. What do you consider was your biggest failure, and what did you learn from that?
Wow, that's a really good question. Man, I really have to think about that one. It's not that we haven't had failures. I guess in Southport, trying to push wine there. It's real tempting. I mean, I think there's no secret. Markup on wine is pretty high. It's real tempting to kind of go that route. Right. But, once you're known as a craft beer spot, it's hard to transition the other way.
Yeah.
Especially there's a lot of wine competition in that town. I would say that's probably been my biggest failure. Yes, my wife is what cost us the most. Because wine even if you buy it wholesale, it's very expensive.
Yeah.
And especially to have a good collection.
Right.
I'd say that's our biggest failure. Just in general, saying, well, we tried wine, didn't work. It's not like a huge failure. But it definitely was a huge learning lesson. Because even here we do a good amount of wine, but I think it taught me what to bring in, what not to bring in.
Okay.
And it basically taught me there, have wine by the glass.
Yeah.
And don't worry about anything else.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. So, now, do you keep on tap or you just pour?
No, we do by the bottle.
Okay.
I've been tempted to do it by the tap.
Yeah.
But man, I'm telling you, if I got a tap, I'm putting beer on it. So, because I know that's just the way it's going to work. If eventually it'll just switch over to beer. So we, wine, especially once you get to know your clientele, you're going to pour some bottles down the drain, learning this lesson. But once you get to know your clientele, you know what to bring in, you know how much to charge, and you know what people are willing to pay. It is, even if you're just doing it by the bottle, you know, if you're a brewery or a bottle shop that doesn't want to sell it, you know, I'm sorry, do it by glass. You can make it work. Yeah. And you kind of have to now. I mean, you know, when I first opened, I had it in my head, like white and a red, and that's it. I'm not selling anything else. Yeah. And you quickly realize that's not good enough, at least in certain areas. Right. So I think we've learned we do really good with wine here and I think from lessons learned at the other place. Okay. So rarely do we pour a bottle down the drain, and that's good. Yeah. So, but you know, that's, it's like everything else. You just have to learn what to carry and what not to carry. When I first opened this shop, I was like, we're in Charlotte. It's on now. I'm going to be the next Salud. I'm going to have Cantillon in here and I'm going to, you know, all this weird stuff. And no. Market's not going that way anyway.
Well, that's what I was surprised when you said you had Belgians.
Yeah, we have some old school beer drinkers here.
Cool. And, that's good.
Yeah, and I'm pretty damn happy about it.
Nice.
You know, don't have a lot. Right. But, you know, it's cool to have some old school guys come in here and nice. You know, be surprised when they see that in the cooler. Oh, yeah. So, and you know, good thing about Belgians is like, man, if it don't sell right off the bat, who cares? Yeah. It can sit for a while, especially everything we have is in the cooler. All our beer is kept cold. We never, you know, when we first opened, we had shelves that we kept, you know, 6-pack stuff on, but I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, let's get 2 coolers, fill them up with beer. Yeah. And our walk-in, we have it, anything overstock, we keep it in the walk-in. Okay. So unless it was warm getting here, it's cold when it gets here, and it stays that way. Okay. So nice. Yeah.
Nice. We're very well. And that's a good way to keep beer. Yeah. Yeah. We're very particular about quality. We clean our lines between kegs. We clean our lines every few weeks. Complete tear down. I say we. Joe in Southport. And again, shout out to Joe for doing that, because that's another. You asked me that's not a typical day, but every few weeks, it's you know, just turn on some loud music and go to town. That's all you can do. There you go. Try to keep everything cold. Try to never keep anything outside the cooler unless we just absolutely have to. So we're big. If you're gonna pay $8 for a beer, it needs to be kept fresh as possible, served out of clean lines in a decent glass. That's not got, you know, haze all over it or whatever. But so we tried our best to at least do that for you. Nice. What would you like to be remembered for in this industry? Kind of going back to what we said earlier, teaching people about beers. And, you know, I know at the end of the day, it's just beer. It's not that serious. It's fun. It's a hobby to me and a lot of other people. But it's a growing industry in this state, and it's supporting a lot of jobs and a lot of people, and a lot of people. It's a gathering. I think that's another thing I'm super proud of is it's happened at the other location, and it has definitely happened here. There are people that
live 2 houses from each other, never talk to each other. They come in here, best friend.
Nice.
We have
brings people together.
Oh man. So don't tell me it's just beer.
Yeah.
It's just wine.
Yep.
It's a gathering. It's a social thing. It's, for better or for worse. And, I think that's probably, if I'm really thinking about it now, it's my most thing I'd like to be remembered for, and the thing I'm most proud about is like bringing people together.
Yeah.
Groups of people that hang out here. And this place especially has gotten local, McAdenville Cheers is what a lot of people call it.
Okay.
So, it's like Cheers with a bunch of beer selections, big beer selections. Instead of just, here, Norm, here's your one beer. So, super proud of that. Like that's, we have a huge Oktoberfest in Southport every year. And, it draws up to about, this past year was probably about 1,000 people.
Oh, okay.
And
wow.
The past 2 years, after dealing with COVID and then us moving and stuff like that, I just was standing on like a little ledge that we had there. And I was just looking over, I'm like, man, all these people almost know each other. And like, it's because of this place. So nice. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's definitely like, it's really happened here. Like this is becoming the community watering hole. So
cool. So what's the best compliment that you've received for this place so far?
Exactly that. Okay. I think what we were just saying.
Yeah.
Few people have come up to me. We've had because we've had Oktoberfest here where we just gave away bratwurst and, pretzels. And we've had anniversary parties where we gave away food, or we've had potluck, stuff like that. And almost when we do stuff like that, especially and it draws a crowd, somebody's coming up to me and like, man, thank you so much for putting this here.
Nice.
Like this is, what else would we be doing? So I think that's the biggest compliment.
That's awesome.
People just saying you should be proud of what you've done here. So that's, it's I don't know, it's unexpected. When you start a business like this, you're just like, well, it's a business. I like beer. I'm going to sell beer.
Yeah.
But it's an unexpected bonus.
So have you had any naysayers since you've opened up?
You want me to go through Google reviews real quick? Not here.
You got some ridiculous ones?
Not here. Honestly, we have a 5-star review on Google here. We ain't been open, but not even 2 years.
Yeah.
We have so many reviews, but and I know that's not the measuring stick
right
for stuff, but still it does. As a business owner, my other place has, I don't even know, probably 200 reviews and 190 of them are super positive and awesome. Right. It's the 10 that bug you. That's like stupid crap. Yeah. When we first opened the doors at the other location about 4.5 years ago, somebody wrote a 2-star review and a long review. And a lot of it was praising everything we were doing. But also the things that they were negative about was like, didn't like the color of the walls. Good Lord. Really? And didn't like that the place wasn't, they wanted it decorated more. And it's like, good Lord, we just opened. And we did serve in plastic, which I'll give them that. They complained about serving in plastic. Yeah. But when we opened the doors at that time, North Carolina laws were a little different. So we couldn't serve in glass without a certain type of permit that we didn't want to, it was going to cost us like $20,000 to get that permit.
Yeah.
To do the upfit. So anyway, that, I don't mind complaining about that, but it was, it's like the first review you get. And you can go back and look at that. Southport Tap Cellar, and you can see it's like I'm pretty sure it was the first review if you go back and sort it by newest, or oldest. And I thought it was very respectful. I definitely gave a long response back, and they changed it to 3 stars. So
there you go.
And we got a lot of bad reviews during COVID. Fake, honestly. I hate to even say that, but just, people making up stuff, names, and not being honest. And because we were, especially there, and bottle shops in general were like, we were pretty lucky that the way most of our business is structured in North Carolina, we were able to stay open because we did to go. Whereas your typical bar, private club in particular had to close the doors.
Yeah.
Wasn't fair, but I mean, what am I going to do? You know?
Yeah.
And we were pretty big on enforcing the mask mandate because we had to. And ABC basically said, I will shut you down if you do not do this. So a lot of people writing bad reviews, focusing on that. And luckily Google has removed those. So, but other than that, man, just the occasional use, you know, why don't you do this? Why don't, you know, everybody wants to spend your money.
Everybody has an opinion.
Yeah. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody wants to spend your money.
Yep.
You know, its biggest thing is you'll hear, I don't hear much here, but why don't you have live music? Well, we do have live music there, which is pretty sporadic. I mean, we have a stage and everything there, but we don't do it all the time. Right. We're not that type of place. We're not honky tonk.
Yep.
So people don't understand. There's a lot goes in that. Bands cost money and they deserve it. Yep. Every bit of it, but low margin business. Yeah. I don't sell at either place. We don't sell $13 cocktails with 50 cents worth of liquor in it. You know, we have low margins and we have to be real careful how we handle that. And then on top of that, when you start getting lawyers involved with music rights and it gets real expensive real quick. Yep. And I don't think people understand that. Yeah. So, you know, that kind of stuff is, you know, those types of quote unquote advice. And that stuff irritates me the most, I guess. Yeah. So, but I think because of the size of this location, we really don't have that problem. People definitely want music. And I would love to bring live music in here. There's a few things in the works that might allow us to do that, but it'll be on our own time and dime. Yeah. But
cool. If you could go back and give your 18-year-old self some advice, what would that advice be?
Man, get into craft beer. Was it even a thing when I was 18? That would have been 97, 96. There was like Peacocks and probably Boone was open. Yeah, man, start a beer store. Yeah. You start your own business. I think more general. Yeah. Like, I'm not rich. Not ever want to be rich. And I think anybody in this industry will tell you that, whether you own a brewery, a taproom, or whatever, you're never going to be rich.
But you love what you're doing.
I love what I'm doing. Yeah. And it's way more satisfying. Yeah. It's way more hours. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. But I don't know, I wouldn't change it. If I had to go back to the real world, so man.
Yeah, nobody wants that. Trust me.
Yeah, that's win the lottery, I guess.
Yeah. Tell me about the 3 most influential people that you've encountered in this industry.
Well, I'll give you, is a couple, do they count as one person or 2 people?
Yeah, I don't care.
Paul and Beth Engstrom.
You can do 7 if you want.
Paul and Beth Engstrom in Calabash, North Carolina. They own Coastal Craft Beverage. If you're ever down there in Brunswick County or Horry County or whatever around Myrtle, North Myrtle especially, go to their shop. They have the best selection on the coast pretty much. Great people. It's funny. You know, here we have, you know, bingo and trivia and karaoke and we do slushies and we have wine and stuff like that. And I'm happy with all that. It's all fun. Right. And it makes money. But they don't do that, man. They got craft beer. They got 20 taps. They got probably 150 different cans and bottles. They got a white on tap and a red on tap. And that's it, buddy. No food trucks, no snacks, it's a craft beer bottle shop. Yeah. And it's awesome to see it succeeding and doing well. But we couldn't have done it without them. I mean, they helped us. You know, we were doing everything on such a budget. It was coming down to like the last day of like, we got to get open. And without their guidance and help, like, we would not have been at that point. So, nice. You know, and just influential, like knowing, even seeing what sells for them, what doesn't, you know, stuff like that. But they were a big influence. Man, who else? You know, it's hard to point out one person. It's just a lot of shops. I mean, nothing we do here is new. Everything we've done, we've stolen from somebody else. Yeah. So a lot of it's just been influential. You know, Mike at Hey Beer, we got to know each other a little bit more before they closed, unfortunately. He was a big influence. Kind of the same way, man. Just craft beer.
Yeah.
It wasn't about all the other stuff.
Right.
So he was a big influence too. Unfortunately, shop's not around anymore, but
yeah,
I think he's probably happier. Yeah. You know, there's so many little people that some of them probably don't remember the names, you know, that just help guide you along.
Right.
You know, you go and that's the cool thing about this industry is you walk in the shop, man, you somehow, I hope we're all guilty of it. It's not just me, but somehow work in like, yeah, on a bottle shop. And it's bam. They're just, you can just talk about it. I mean, unfortunately, I cannot remember his name, but the brew cellar in North Charleston, South Carolina. Never really talked to the owners too much or even the staff, but just seeing what they've done.
Right.
And how they did it. It's like, that was a huge influence too.
Cool.
Well, you know, mom and dad.
Yeah.
That's the other two. How about that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. My dad never really, he had a mechanic shop for a little while, but never really owned his own business. And, but he got to a point in his life where he's like, that's what I should have done. I should have worked for myself. I'd have been a lot happier. And he really pushed me to do that. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling my kids now.
Oh man, it's tax season. I might tell you different, which we're in, but you know, past April, it's okay. Get a good CPA. That's my advice to everybody. Get a trustworthy, good CPA.
Yeah. What's the biggest challenge that you're facing here at 115 Craft, and how are you handling it?
Trends. Keeping up with trends. Beer trends, obviously, but even social media trends. And, you know, somewhat events and like food trucks and so, but just trends and, you know, what is the cool hip thing? You know, what is, and that's the thing about that is like, you can go to Charlotte, that's something different. You know, what's cool and hip in Plaza Midwood ain't cool and hip in Gaston County. So knowing that is a little more difficult, but,
you have to adjust the trend.
Yeah. And you can. I mean, luckily in a town like this, you kind of can. Yeah. I mean, you know, you have a little bit of influence if you're the only game in town. Yeah. I mean, we do have another tap room down the street. I don't want to say we're the only game in town, but they're not quite, I don't know what the word, for lack of a better term, they're not as nerdy about it as I am. So, you know, I think we kind of can set the trend a little bit.
Yeah.
When we been doing a lot of tap takeovers and free tastings and stuff. And that can really help you see where things are going, but even help you like, hey, these cool people from this cool brewery, they're here and they love this beer. And like, oh, you know, so
nice.
That's kind of, that's cool, you know, but trend, man, just keeping up with the trend. You know, we're, like the wine thing, you know, that's kind of a trend here and we're trying to capitalize on it. And non-alcoholic stuff. I know we just got through dry January, but it's still selling. I got with this company that does mocktails in a can because we don't have a liquor license. Yeah. So not that it would really matter with mocktails, but and man,
everybody's talking about RTDs. They're just becoming big.
And that jumping on that's been a pretty big deal. Oddly enough, Liquid Death has been when I first put that on the shelf, people were like, what the hell is that? What kind of beer is that? I know it's water. It's water. And man, we sell the crap out of those cans.
Yeah, I don't know how they market because I've never seen anything, but it is everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
every venue you go to, every bar you go to, every tap room you go to, they have it.
In a way, you know, if you walk in here with an Aquafina bottle, you kind of look weird. You know, I mean, honestly, you know, if you're just sitting there and you don't have a beer, you don't have a glass of wine, whether nobody's looking down on you, but I would feel it.
Yeah.
You know, but if you come in here and you buy a Liquid Death from us, well, first of all, you spent money here. And second of all, you're drinking out of a can. It looks cool. You know, you could say it's a beer almost. Nobody would know. You know, I was walking down the street one day and I had one in a koozie, Liquid Death, water. I promise it was water.
Yeah.
And ran into the landlord walking up the street. And I just talked to him for a minute. I was like, Just so you know, this is water. This isn't beer. I'm not walking around your properties with beer in my hand. But it kind of gives that look of like it's an alcoholic beverage. And I think, that helps a little bit.
The can design looks.
Yeah. Somebody here is like not drinking or whatever, and that helps. And, we start selling resident cultures, I don't know, the THC, CBD, whatever they are.
Oh, yeah.
Those have been a big hit. We can't drink it here. To go only. But there you go, just trends.
Yeah.
We sell cocktails in a can. We are, no promises, people, but we are working on getting our liquor license. If all the stars align, hopefully in the next few months, we'll have a liquor license heavily focused on bourbon.
Yeah.
We might have a couple bottles of other things, but not a huge array of cocktails. We're going to do bourbon, and we're going to have a smoker for the bourbon, and we're going to do a house old fashioned.
There you go.
And that's about the only promises I make. Everything else, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Probably do some Bloody Marys. We sell a really good Bloody Mary mix, probably the best I've ever had. It comes from a little company in Southport called Queen Anne's Bloody Revenge. And right now we make Bloody Marys, quote unquote, with Birdsong's Jalapeno Pale Ale. And they've gone over pretty well.
Interesting.
But I think we do vodka. Game changer.
Yeah.
So, and we sell the bottles by themselves. I might be out of them right now, actually. But yeah, so we're looking forward to doing some stuff like that. But yeah, it'll be real basic, simple.
Cool.
But yeah, just trends. Lagers. That's another trend.
Oh, yeah.
When I was here, I had one tap for lagers. Not because I wanted to, but I just thought I was just going to sell a ton of IPAs, which we do. I mean, hazy IPAs, still king of the castle. But
see, a lot of people going back to those more traditional styles.
Yeah. West, we now dedicate.
Including me.
I'm leaning that way myself, man. 2 dedicated West Coast taps. And 3 dedicated lager taps. One of those being the side pool. And we always try to keep like a Czech Pils on there. Or I love doing a dark. I know it's not traditional, but I love doing a dark lager on it. It's like pouring coffee, man. Yep. It's so good.
It is. It's very good.
And we sell Leisure Time Lager is really the only beer that we have on tap all the time. That's our PBR. That's from Highwire Brewing. We started selling it was Old North, and they changed the name recently. That's one trend that's stuck, fortunately. Okay. So that's been a cool thing to see. That's your norm drinkers. That's your guys coming in. Just give me a beer. You just give them that. They don't care.
Yeah.
So, but that's a trend. Yeah.
What's the most important lesson that you've learned since you've opened 15 Craft?
Be patient. Not my strong suit. Don't take things personal. Of course, we're just talking about reviews. But definitely face-to-face stuff. Just count to 3 and just take it in. And people are going to give you advice. Yeah. If you want to call it that.
Yeah.
I like to say they like to spend your money. But just take it with, a grain of salt and know they're not. It's usually said with positivity, and they want you to do well. So be patient with people. Be patient with your vendors. Be patient with your sales reps. Be patient with the breweries. And try not to take it personal. That's been the hardest thing. I'm still learning that lesson. So, it's all business.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the biggest lesson I'm still learning.
In your opinion, what personality trait or strength do you think someone needs to be successful as a bottle shop owner?
Well, we say we're a bottle shop, a tap room. And we are. But we have a bar. We're a bar. I mean, at the end of the day, that's I think that's a subset of a bar, subcategory of a bar.
Right.
Because the craft beer part of it, the people that come and buy their cans and go, or that stuff's easy. Those people are cool. Yeah. They know the deal. Dealing with people who are irresponsible drinkers. When we started talking about this, a bar owner friend of my mother said, say, are you going to start? We're going to start a bar. Do you like babysitting adults? No, don't start a bar. Now, granted, that came from someone who owns a biker bar, but that definitely, like the last question, your patience with people, but also knowing how to read people. for lack of a better babysitting, really. I mean, you know, the good thing about being a craft beer bar, wine bar, is that you don't deal with too much rowdiness. Most of our beer is too expensive to just sit here and get hammered drunk off of it.
Yeah.
But it does happen, and you just have to know how to talk to people, and everybody's different. Every drunk is different. So, you know, some people are happy drunks, some people are mean drunks, some people are quiet drunks, you know. So learn how to read people, and that transfers over to just, man, what are they drinking, or how's their mood today? Do they want to talk to me as a bartender? Do they not want to talk to me? You know, I think that's like, that's one of the biggest things. Just reading people, helping people, and babysitting people.
What's one thing about owning this business that almost no one agrees with you about?
Wow, that's a good question. Holy moly. No one agrees with me about. I won't say it's no one, but I get a lot of disagreements.
I should say almost no one agrees.
Not selling, everybody will say domestics. Everything I have almost is domestic, but not selling macro stuff. A lot of people think it's a bad idea not to do that. And I get what they're saying. And when you look at the margins on the stuff, it's tempting. And I'll be honest with you, our other location does sell Mick Ultra, High Life, and Miller Lite. And that was just a trend. There again, trend that we saw that happening down there. And that particular location is way bigger. We have a stage. We have a beer garden. It's a venue. Right. And while our craft beer sales there are phenomenal, there's still certain people that they're just not going to come see that band because I don't have Miller Lite. I tried to educate. There's some people that are just not going to do it. Right. It's not going to happen. They're not going to drink Leisure Time Lager. They don't care. I could pour it in a Miller High Life bottle. They'd probably drink it, but they're just not going to do it. And so
that's the most difficult people to educate.
Yeah.
Because if they would take a chance.
Yeah. And I've converted some people. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I mean, we've had last year we had a band play there, huge crowd. And I just so happened to be there. And somebody came up to me and told me, he's like, yeah, this guy's sneaking bottles of, let's just say Mick Ultra, out of his cooler on his golf cart over, and he's putting it in the cup and drinking. I was like, oh God, which A is illegal. You can't do that. But but B, it's just disrespectful. Yeah. And it was him and his wife were doing it. And I walked up to him and said, hey man, you can't do that. Like, come on, buddy. It says no outside alcohol right there. Yeah. And he's like, well, I just don't like craft. I don't like craft beers. I don't like IPAs. I'm like, well, I got 20 taps and only 5 of them are IPAs. So I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, you got to take that beer somewhere else. He put it back in his golf cart. He came back and started watching the band. I brought him a Leisure Time Lager. They loved it. They just buying rounds for their friends. Yeah. And, I don't say they're regulars, but they come back pretty often, at least when I'm using stuff. And that's what they drink. They know. Yeah. And honestly, it's just as cheap almost. I mean, it's a little more, but you're supporting a North Carolina brewery. All that money, not only does that money stay in the USA, that money stays in the state. Yeah. That's my big thing. Yeah. Supporting locals, supporting your state, especially, man. Like, absolutely. I'm not like a big, buy only buy American, but try to when you can. Yeah. I mean, and try to support your local business, try to support your local breweries. I mean, that is $1 billion industry in this state. So let's keep it going, man. Yeah. Like, textiles, that's not a thing anymore. Furniture is not a thing anymore. Yep. Like, let's lean into it.
But I think there's a big need in the market for beers that are similar to the macros.
I agree.
But are actually good.
Yeah. And I think, unfortunately, and I totally get why they did it. It makes sense for them as a business. But I thought the Old North from Highwire was going to be that. Yeah. Has that old school feel. It feels like they even, give me an oldie. But the beer was only a couple of years old, but it felt like a Hams or a Pabst, a PBR. Right. it had that feel. And man, people were loyal to it. I mean, I still got one of the neon signs. I bet I could get $500 for that neon sign. Luckily, the switch over to leisure time has not been that bad, but it took a while. I had to convince them. People are brand loyal.
Oh yeah.
And if you can do, if somebody can, it's going to take I don't know, man, somebody like a Highland or a bigger North Carolina brewery is really, really just going to lean hard into it and probably maybe lose a little bit of money at first, but man, just put out a good quality American adjunct lager.
Yep.
But.
Well, I have to remind everyone here that you should watch or listen to last episode where I spoke to the owner of Protagonist Brewing, Mike Salzarulo. And we talked about that very thing because they have Hank, which is an American light lager, and he's like, that's our macro equivalent,
And they're leaning into that pretty good. In fact, we were carrying Hank for a while, and that's on me for not keeping up with it.
Yep.
We do pretty good. We actually have Dirty Bull's extra crispy lager. Kind of fills that need for us. Right. They're getting ready to open a brewery in Gastonia.
Yes, that's what I've heard. Across from the ballpark.
Yeah, brewery taproom.
Yeah.
Yep. They're still a ways away, a few months away.
Wherever that ballpark is. You remember the name of it?
Oh, God. It was the Honey Hunters baseball team, but not anymore.
Yeah. We won't go into that.
Man, it's got to be named after a bank, aren't they all? The first Union Field.
Yeah.
But trying to support them a little bit and get their name out there. One of the owners / I guess he's going to be the brewer here. Jordan comes in here a lot.
Okay.
So, and we'll be doing a tap takeover with him soon. Just trying to push their stuff. Once they get open, we may not push it so hard just because it's just so you're going to be able to get on the street to get it. So, that's the weird dynamic with like Gaston County breweries. We don't have a lot of them, but I don't care I don't care a lot of stuff just because they're again, Charlotte thing, the Mooresville thing, the Denver thing, I'd rather bring that stuff in.
Yeah.
No offense to any of those breweries. They all make great product. But,
right.
We are going to have keepsake stuff here soon, but I think that I have a feeling that's going to be hard to get at some point.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to keep up with the tap room. So, I'm going to get it while I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Protagonist, that Hank it's a great beer.
Oh, it is.
And the marketing on it's killer. Whoever did that was a genius. So I even have a Hank koozie over there.
I'm sure Michael probably take credit for that.
I don't know a lot of those guys. I know Lindsay, the sales rep.
Yeah.
She's freaking awesome, man. She did a tap take over here and everybody here was like, man, I love her. You should have her like every week.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's awesome.
So we got one coming up with her in the next couple of months. She can just bring some of that pizza and keep it warm. That would be, dude, that's some of the best pizza in Charlotte.
I almost cannot refrain from getting a slice of Lando every time I'm in there,
dude. Between their beer and their pizza, man, they're knocking it out of the park.
So, what's your favorite productivity hack?
Oh wow, productivity hack. And just because it's the first thing that comes to my head. And some people are probably gonna be like, duh, but it may seem like something small. Using Instagram and having it set up where your post from Instagram goes straight to Facebook. And it doesn't seem like much, but I used to do it separately.
Yeah.
And it's enough to drive you wild. So to me, just being an old guy, I love tech, but I don't really like social media. That's been learning that and there's a lot of little things that you simplify and you just change up to make things easier on social media. That's because that's to me is the biggest burden. That's the part of business I don't like. I'll just be flat honest with you.
Oh yeah.
Once it's out there in the world, I'm like, some of my posts I'm kind of proud of. Like, they look cool. But while you're doing it, you're like, oh God, this is just grunt work. So that's a big hack. We're lucky. I don't know if it's really be a hack, but man, leaning on your reps for advice and which way to go with. Getting to know your rep first and trusting your rep, whether it be a brewery or a distributor or whatever, but get to a point where you can just trust them to say like, so yesterday I text Matt from King Canary. I'm like, man, I need a hazy half barrel. I know good and well he's not going to sell me the crap that's just, well, we can't get rid of it. We should sell it to him. Mm-hmm. He's like, man, we got this beer, wasn't even on the list. You want it? Like, let's get it. Oh, hell yeah, brand new, fresh. And I trust that, their product's going to be great and that he's going to lead me in the right direction. Yep. So I don't have to, I mean, you know, besides Untapped, it's really hard to like, and I don't really trust Untapped. Mm-hmm. I don't trust Untapped ratings. Nothing against the company, but.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know,
everybody's an expert. Besides
me driving to Mooresville or hoping he brings me a sample or whatever, like, I know that, you know, so that's kind of a hack is like learning. Right. There's certain ones you can't trust, but you know, they usually get weeded out pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. You know, so just knowing, man, like certain guys, if I text Mikey right now and be like, hey man, I need a West Coast from you guys. What you got? He ain't gonna give me. Resiculture don't make crappy beer, but he's not gonna give me something that's been sitting on the shelf for 4 months. Right. You know, but there are reps that will do that. I mean, they're distro reps, and I'm not picking on distro in general. I've got some of my distro reps are awesome. And shout out to Dustin at Advantage and Chris Minker at Advantage on the coast. Mm-hmm. I don't even look at their list, man. I'm like, I need this beer from this brewery, or I need this style of wine. Man, Dustin, especially with wine, that dude has led us down the right path. Nice. So it's good. You can have that trusting relationship. Well, let me tell you, I don't know if you've ever seen a wine list on the inventory from a distributor. Mm-hmm. It is daunting. You think there's a lot of craft beer in the world? There's a shit ton of wine. Oh, yeah. So, but that's man, learning. It takes you a while. Yeah. Struggle at first, but you learn how to, like, they learn you learn them. Right. You learn to trust and trust their opinion and, you know they don't want to screw you over because that's their money. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's if you can call that a hack, that's a big hack. Yeah. That saves me so much time.
You mentioned Matt from King Canary. Yeah. If anyone has watched or listened to, I think it was episode 5, I believe, with Adam Glover, who is the director of operations at King Canary. You know, he talked about his biggest challenge at that time was getting a sales rep. So he has met that challenge.
He got a good one.
That is Matt. So
Ted might be a little pissed off, but I'm sure he's not. Yeah. I think Ted's a good guy. Yeah. I don't know him extremely well, but I know talking to Matt, it was pretty easy transition. Yeah. Nobody was mad. It's the industry we're in, man. Absolutely. And it's kind of nice. Like, it would have been cool to keep Matt as my Petty Thieves rep. Like, don't get me wrong, and it would make life easy. But at the same time, it's like, I wanted to pick up King Canary. I was trying, and because they didn't have a rep, it was, they couldn't say yay or nay. Right. And so the timing was perfect. Mm-hmm. Like, hey man, like, hey, I'm telling him this. He's like, well, I'm going to work for him next week. He didn't say that while he was at Petty Thieves, by the way. But it's not going to, I'm still going to buy Petty Thieves beer. I love Petty. I would, if you told me they didn't have a rep, I will go pick it up. Like, I don't care. Like, I'll pick up beer from Free Range. Unfortunately, I might have to pick up beer from One Robot this week, but it's just an excuse to go to Charlotte anyway. I'm going to go find me somewhere good to eat and maybe have a couple beers wherever I go. Yeah, absolutely. But having a good rep, man, and they got lucky at King Canary with Matt. Yeah. So hopefully he'll be there for a long time. Yep. And I actually got a secret about Petty Thieves, but I'll have to tell you about that off air. Yeah, let's do. I hope it's good. Oh, it's good. Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah, it's good. More cheer wine sour? No. Hey, man, I'm actually not like, maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not a big fan of like that style, but I'm grew up on Cheerwine, man. I'm pretty sure I had Cheerwine in my baby bottle. So that was cool as hell to see them do that. Like, no offense to any of the Cheerwine beers, but that was pretty good. Oh, well, the Cheerwine Ale from Nodai is just killing it. It's become one of their best sellers. Chad was telling me it's up there with Hop Drop and Roll. I don't know that this was, when it came out, I think people thought it was like one run. That's it. Maybe once a year. Yeah. But I was like, I have a feeling this is going to be like forever deal.
Well, I mean, it took off so well that they're like, oh, okay, we're going to have to. Because I think it was originally thought of that it was going to be.
Okay.
Because it was like right before the Cheerwine Festival.
Yeah. Well, I know New Sarum, didn't they do?
They had one as well.
Theirs was always like super limited. You can always get it at the festival.
Yep.
Man, they should have jumped on that bandwagon.
I think they wanted to.
It's not a style that I would typically lean towards, but there again, I love Cheerwine. So you kind of Cheerwine, barbecue sauce, Cheerwine, whatever. I'm going to try it at least once. So
I had never heard of Cheerwine until I moved down here.
You're not supposed to. Dang.
Yeah. That and Sundrop.
Oh, yeah. I honestly, man, it's funny that Sundrop's a big thing. It is starting a state, starting like Georgia or something, but because it's canned in Gastonia, I guess, or was.
Yeah.
I like Sundrop, but I grew up on the Cheerwine, man. Yeah. That's a big thing.
Actually, I didn't care that much for Sundrop until I had the cherry lemon Sundrop.
My wife's got me on that. It is pretty good. Yeah. But people around here tell you that's old hat because they used to.
Oh, people used to mix it themselves.
Yeah. So
Sundrop's like, oh, wait a minute. We could do that or something.
Yeah.
We're missing an opportunity here.
Surprised it took them that long. Somebody's going to that's going to be the next beer.
Yeah.
Nota needs to get Sundrop on that.
Actually, I think Cabarrus has one.
You know what? They have. I know it. So I don't know if it's officially.
I don't know if it's
linked to Sundrop, but it's supposed to. It sure does look like a Sundrop.
I know.
Logo.
When the cans come out, I was like, "Ooh, somebody's getting a cease and desist."
How that hasn't happened, I don't even know. It's funny how some of this stuff slips on the radar.
Yeah.
I have that can up there, New Manson. I don't know if you can see. It's a black can. It's got the Beastie Boys on it. To the far left, it's just a can.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They come out with that. This is back with New Anthem, man. Their cans all look exactly the same. And they, for whatever reason, they put out this hazy, and I forget what it's called, but it's a reference to Beastie Boys. And they put the Beastie Boys on that can. I don't think it was like 2 weeks later they got a cease and desist. Yeah. No joke, man. Yep. And they ended up taking it off the can. I'm lucky I got that can because there was only like one run of cans like that. So I don't know. Sometimes these breweries, I wonder if they just do it to see if they can get away with it. Which is, I mean.
Oh, I think they do.
I'm kind of I'm like a little bit of a punk rock guy. Like I grew up on like Cali punk and, going to punk shows and stuff in Winston and stuff like that. So that attitude to me is right along my, my line of thought. Yeah. It's like, just do it, man. Yeah. Sorry if you need to edit that out. But, so I think that helped with the transition to craft beer too. It's like, there's a lot of like that punk rock attitude in the beer industry.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I think me and some of my friends basically replaced got too old to go to shows and just replace that with craft beer. So,
oh no, you can find me at the Rooster. So just come check it out.
Yeah, I need to go to that.
There's some good shows there.
Yeah, and I started going back to shows recently, but man, I hurt the next day.
Yeah. Awesome.
It all comes around.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What underrated tool is indispensable for you to do your job?
Underrated tool. I mean, not by me, but probably by the outsider looking in. And she's gonna be mad that I refer to her as a tool. My wife. She is.
No, you're a tool.
She means it different though, and I am a tool. But I couldn't do it without her. Dude. Yeah. She is behind the scenes. If I, for whatever reason, I don't know, if I drop dead out there right now, this place is gonna keep running. She could do what I do. Yeah. She's about to quit her job. But if she just dropped the pen tomorrow and said, I don't want to do this no more, I'd be screwed. I mean, I wouldn't have a clue on what she handles. Financials, schedule. She just does everything. It's unreal. And does it, great example is, when we get, when a beer delivery comes in, we're left to invoice. Well, I could enter it in. I know how to do it, but it takes me forever. So she just finally was like, she was frustrated. It would take me so long. She's like, just take a picture of the freaking invoice and send it to me. And I will send her a picture invoice, and then within not even 5 minutes, it's in the system. It's good. It's ready to go. I'm like, damn, it would take me like half an hour. So it's such a time saver. And honestly, man, you know, you hear, and Brent talked about this a little bit, the struggles with financially. Everybody, you hear that with everybody. And it's all the shops. Like, you're doing this as a passion, not as a money making, you know, venture. But we do okay, and we make money because of her. Yeah. Because she knows how to shift things around. And, you know, there's a certain level of like, you're tempted to price, a beer comes in, you're tempted to price it at $10 because, oh, it's going to make a bunch of money. Well, you have to know the mid range of like, yeah, but it's not going to sell. So what's the point? You know? So she's real good. She just has a good business sense when it comes to stuff like that. And we also collaborate a lot, and we listen to each other. And, you know, she knows when to, like, I have these crazy ideas, like, let's have a Ferris wheel out front where you serve beer when they come around, you know. She knows to go, well, that's dumb. You know, but if I say, like, you know, let's have a Oktoberfest event. Well, okay, how are we going to pull this off? So she makes a lot of my stupid little ideas come true, but she also shoots a lot of them down. Yeah. That should be shot down.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I don't want for, you know, she's not a tool, but she's extremely instrumental. She's sharp. She's the sharpest tool in the tool shed. Yeah. Honestly, that, and man, God, I almost hate to even say it. If you're looking for like a specific thing, Untapped, I mean, there's a lot of problems with it. Yeah. I don't like the ratings. As far as the social side of it, I do not like how that's done. Yeah. I don't like the ratings. I don't like if they were to get rid of all that, but just say, hey, this is just a program for you to do inventory and to get your stuff out to the world and menus, man. Right. Totally worth it. Powerful system. They keep fiddling with it, making it a little more difficult to use, at least my dumbass. But as far as if you're doing a bottle shop and you're going to have 120 some beers and you're going to have 20 taps, I don't see how you can do without it. I mean, I know you can, but I've got a buddy who helped start a restaurant in Oak Island, and they had 40 taps. And then probably, you know, maybe about 40 to 50 bottles. And he was handwriting descriptions on menus and chalkboards. Oh, my. He was spending his whole time. Wow. I mean, that was his 40 hours a week doing that, plus all his other rate. And I'm like, you know, for this amount of money, you could just, here's a button, move from here to here. And your menu. Yeah. So I know it gets a bad rap, and I think a lot of it's deserved. But in general, as far as running this business, it definitely is a time saver. Right. And they do keep raising prices. Come on, Untapped. Stop doing everything. Everything, everyone is just keeps going up and up. Yeah. And they're offering new services, so I kind of get it. But it's things I don't need. So it's like, you know. But yeah, Untapped is honestly a pretty cool tool until they come out with a competitor. I mean, they kind of got them. I know people argue, well, there's this thing out of California. Yeah, no, it's California beer. You know, like. There used to be a competitor to Untapped, but it didn't make it. I think by the time 2020 was over, they were done. When everybody, albeit reluctantly, is working with them, what can you do? Yeah. I mean, I know the breweries hate it, and I'm 100% on board with why they hate it. But it is what it is. And, you know, maybe I would push to, like, let's get rid of that stupid rating system. Just make it a check-in. Like, you just checked in. It's just a cool thing. You went to this brewery. You know, I have plenty of friends that I try to, like, they'll rate a beer like 2. I'm like, you got a Saison. You've told me 1,000 times you don't like Saisons. How dare you rate that a 2? You have no business doing that. And it's like, don't you understand it hurts business? Like, that part of it, I don't know how you would regulate that. I know. Extremely difficult. Yeah. Extremely difficult. But it is what it is. So I use it occasionally. I'm more about, like, I had a beer and we're getting ready to go to Colorado. I'll probably check into some beers in Colorado, but I ain't rating them. You know, I'm just saying, well, I was at this brewery in Denver. You know, so I think it's really cool for that.
I like having my tasting notes.
That too.
Yeah.
I think the notes part of it is, even if they were to break that down more, would be great.
Yeah.
But I can go back and, I've drank at craft breweries in Portugal and Austria and Germany and stuff. And it's cool to go back every once in a while. Oh yeah, that's what I had in Bamberg. We were talking about Bamberg.
Yeah.
I talk about hard to check into a beer in Bamberg, but because I stood there trying to spell it out, like, oh my God, but it's cool for that. Yeah. And I think I wish that's just what it was.
Yeah.
It's like if I had to pick a social media that I just had to be on, it'd be Instagram, because it's like, it's kind of happy, bubbly, there's some bad stuff on it, but it's like just pictures of people doing cool. Yep. Whereas Facebook's like, oh God, what am I going to see today? Yeah. Unfortunately, Untapped's like Facebook,
without that many comments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, sometimes those comment threads, I'm just like, ooh, let me get a bowl of popcorn.
You always have the guy that's posts the picture of was it Michael Jackson eating popcorn in the theater?
Yeah.
And sit back and watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the necessary evil of any service business. Any business serving customers, you just gotta have it.
Yeah.
Like I got a really good shout out to the Super Chef food truck. Jack, he's the owner. He's one of the food trucks we book here regular, local guy, great food. If you see him around, grab she crab soup. Oddly enough, the only guy to get have she crab soup anywhere around here. But anyway, he doesn't have an Instagram page. You need to get an Instagram. Like that is the key. Everywhere around here, everybody does Instagram.
Yep. So,
I don't want to do it, but you got to, man.
Yep.
You gotta let people know what soup specials you have. And that's how you're going to get it out into the world, unfortunately. So, Facebook, if it was just an ad platform or a service, social media for businesses or churches or volunteer, like I think it's super great. I think it would be awesome, but unfortunately, it's become much more than that.
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely.
Is
there any other occupation other than your own that you would like to try?
Oh man, well, if you'd asked me about 6 years ago, brewer.
Yeah,
I mean, the original plan was to start a taproom that led into a brewery. I have since learned, no way, not going to happen. Don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
And man, more power to anybody that doesn't. You're superhuman if you're a brewer.
Yeah.
Especially if you own the business and brew and that, because that ain't all you do, man.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care how successful you are. I mean, there's a few of them out there, I'm sure, that are sitting back counting money, but it ain't many. I've always liked working with wood. My dad was a carpenter for 20 some odd years. I'm not that good at it. I don't really have the patience. I mean, I built all the stuff in here pretty much, but
cool.
I think if I could do that and make an eco living, I think I would like to do that. It's fun. You see an end product.
Yeah.
You don't really see an end product in this industry except for happy faces. And beer walking out the door, money in the cash register. But, when you make something that's, and you have it sitting right in front of you, like, it's not perfect by any means. It's bowing up and it's cracking in a few places, but I built that bar, man. Me and my friend Andrew built that bar. It's out of wood, 160-some-year-old wood that come out of that mill over there.
Oh, wow.
And we milled it down, and it was, when we brought it in here, it was 16-foot boards that we had to manhandle to get them things in here. And we milled them down with a planer and got them where you see them at now and epoxied them. And so that's pretty good. Those tables back here, same way with those tables back here.
Nice.
Not this one. I just beat out this to make it look old. So I'm and the same way in Southport, I'm really proud of, I built most of the interior furniture and bar and all that stuff. My dad was dad never even made it past 9th grade, I don't think. He was a carpenter, eventually taught himself Photoshop and started to become a photo editor for the furniture, like catalog industry.
Oh, nice.
He's from High Point, so furniture.
Yeah,
catalog.
yeah.
But also an amazing. He's retired now. Amazing mechanic. Builds car. Now he just builds cars. And I mean everything: motors, paint, interior. Don't matter. He does it.
Wow.
So, but long story short. He instilled that attitude of you can't do everything yourself. You try to do what you can. Mm-hmm. Do to the best of your abilities. And if you can't do it, call me. I'll come do it. That's generally what I do. He came up here and helped me do a few things. He built the legs. These I-beams we found in an old metal shop. Guy was going to trash them. So we cut them up and he fabricated the footings and stuff on them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No,
so
I didn't even notice the I-beam.
Yeah. I don't know what it come out of. We tried. So they had old I-beams in that building over there. Yeah. And I was like, man, I want them old I-beams. No, you can't have those. Those are worth money. So, but I was fortunate enough when we built the place, the contractor that did the work up there, he's like, yeah, man, if you want some of that wood, don't take a ton of it, but we brought it in here and built what we built out of it. So, yeah. So that kind of stuff, I'm super proud of it. And I don't know if I can make money off of it, but I can definitely do it as a hobby. Yep.
Well, you should meet Scott Davis sometime. He's one of the owners of Divine Barrel. And
I have met Scott.
Okay.
Very short period. Had a couple beers with him. That's about it. So,
but he's huge into woodworking.
Dude, you talking about the nicest guys on earth, man.
Yeah,
Divine Barrel dudes.
Yeah.
Even when Frank was there, I don't know if I like him anymore now. He's resident culture, but no, he's a good dude. Man, we used to have. I brought a buddy down here that was starting a restaurant one time, and I want to introduce him to some of the craft beer guys in Charlotte. Mm-hmm. And we went over there, and we had plans to go here. We never left Divine Barrel. We just sat there and drank with the crew and just had a blast. Those are such good guys. And they've been very patient with me sometimes. So, but got sidetracked there. But he's a woodworker.
Yeah.
Jonathan at Summit?
I do not know him.
Have you ever been to the Summit? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. He built that whole place.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty proud of what I've done, but it puts me to shame when you walk in there. That is high grade professional. I think you'd have to ask him, but I think he did everything in that place.
Wow.
And it is beautiful. So he's that's him and Stephanie are people you should maybe talk to.
Yeah.
They've done cool stuff out there. They same way, man. Come to Mount Holly. Nothing else. No game in town.
Yep.
They just blew it up. That's we want a place to hang out that it's not here. We try to go there. Unfortunately, not as much as we would like to.
Right.
We try to go there as much as we can. So
cool.
Yeah.
What's the 3 best beers that you've had in the past year?
Oh my God. Are you kidding me right now? Shoot. I had, it's probably just because it's most recent. I have a horrible memory, but
that's why I have Untapped.
Yeah. And I should use it more. I had the Rock beer, at Keepsake a couple weeks ago, last week. I tell you, man, it's a pretty memorable beer.
Man, I wish I was still on tap when I went Saturday.
It was a collab with Lesser Known, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So it was probably made at Lesser Known. What else? I opened a bottle of Cantillon a couple of weeks ago. The Creek. This every time. It just blows me away how good it is.
Yeah.
Double barrel aged Casita. My wife's going to kill me. I can't pronounce it. Perdita, something like that. Spicy stout.
Okay.
Double barrel aged.
Oh, nice.
A year in Willet and a year in something else. I can't remember. We have the single barrel aged, and it's phenomenal. That double barrel, holy moly. And in a world where everybody's putting out barrel aged, blah, 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 and most of them are good. Mm-hmm. That one just stuck out to me.
Yeah. You said this was Casita?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We get Casita every once in a while. That's another one of those brands, just you don't see a lot around here.
Yeah.
It's a couple of guys like that and fun guys and Forgotten Roads. And I'm sure I'm forgetting others, but I always probably get sick of hearing me ask this. So who else you delivering to around here? And they'll usually say somewhere in Shaw. You'll say Salute. And love Salute, by the way. I don't know. I'm cracking them in. But
everybody does.
Yeah. But I'm so happy when I hear nobody else around here. It's yes, love it.
Yeah.
So You know, I mean, I want to spread the love, and I want everybody to try the beer. But I want them to try it from here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, and that's what keeps me going. I could easily just stock the shelves with, you know, Sycamore and Noda, and I do. I mean, I don't really do Sycamore, but Noda and stuff like that. Like, love their beer, love what they do. But the thing I tell people is like, beer's great, love what they're doing in the area. They don't need my help. I mean, you know,
yeah,
you know, and none of them probably need my help. But, like, bringing the Forgotten Roses here might be a game changer. You know, they might end up having this presence, and you know, I think a great example of that is Heist. And I'm gonna toot my own horn here, but we brought Heist down to Southport. Nobody in Southport knew what the hell Heist Brewing was. I mean, and now it's at every shop down there. It's at Lowe's, you know. So, and I mean, I don't do as much Heist sales as I used to, but it's still awesome. Yeah. Like, I love their beer. I love those guys, and to see them grow. And listen, that's not just because of me. That's because they started delivering down there and stuff like that. But I definitely think I helped. Yeah. You know, so I used to drive to Charlotte to get it. Yeah. I would drive up every couple of weeks. I mean, that's a very important aspect for these breweries. They come a long ways. Oh yeah, their barrel aged stuff, especially. Yes, like we did. The new bottle series is incredible. We did a Black Friday event here, where I bought a bunch of. Spent my life savings on Bottle Logic and Weldworks. That's another one. That Medianoche. It lives up to the hype, man. It is good. Anyway, and then a bunch of like the Casita and the couple bottles from Heist, a bottle from Hopfly, a couple barley ones, and we did flights with the bottles. Nice. And I think the Heist were probably the most popular. Wow. A lot of that's the name, but also the beer was just phenomenal. Right. But lost my ass on those Bottle Logic bottles. But it was good stuff though, man. God. They make some killer beers. That they do. Is there any question you wish I would have asked? Yeah, not right off the top of my head. I think you did a pretty good job. Pretty detailed. I was like I was racking my brain, like, what's he going to ask me? And I think the only thing that really stuck out in my head was like, you were going to ask me what was like the most difficult part, you know, something along those lines. You know? No, man, I think you covered it pretty good. Yeah, now's your opportunity to pitch 115 Craft. Well, let's see, 115 Craft, downtown McAdenville, North Carolina. Right now, probably about a little over 100 so different cans and bottles, 20 taps. I'm sorry, 19 taps. I got 2 locations. I forget sometimes. One of the few nitro taps around. Some people tell me I'm too old school having a nitro tap, but damn if we don't sell a ton of nitro stouts. Oh, and I'll have Guinness on tap on nitro's always good. St. Patty's Day probably. Yeah, and I'll have green beer. I hate it, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Damn it, no glitter though. We have food trucks. Like, check the schedule. Mostly on social media, Instagram, Facebook, 4 days. So we have music bingo every Tuesday. Big a friend of ours does it, Trish. Funny, fun time, easy. Drink a beer, don't have to think too much about it. You win a gift card, some swag sometimes. Right. We usually have a food truck for that. We have karaoke every other Thursday. And we'll have a food truck for that. We've been doing a lot of bottle shares, not bottle shares, tap takeovers on Thursdays. Those have been going really well. Yeah. I need to get always enjoyable. Yeah. I need to get some on the schedule. You know, just, man, follow us. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram. If you have Untapped, you know, our beer list, we keep pretty up to date on Untapped. Bottles and cans, sometimes that can lag a little bit, but our draft list is, as soon as something kicks, it's up to date. So, so what is your Instagram and Facebook? At 115 Craft. Okay. Should just be at 115 Craft. If it's not, be at 115 Craft NC. Okay. But I'm pretty sure it's just 115 Craft. Okay. If you search this, we should be about the only thing that comes up. Or even if you put in like McAdenville Craft Beer, we're definitely the only thing that comes up for that. Right. But yeah, that's the best way to keep up with us. We might start an email list here soon. I don't know how much need there is in that. give it. I would try anything and try once.
Yeah.
So, but man, I can easily say we have the best beer selection, with the exception of maybe Summit, in Gaston County.
Nice.
And we have a pretty good wine selection. You know, we have on by the glass, we have about 10 different bottles of wine. But we also can recork our wine. So if you buy a whole bottle, which is the cheapest way to do it, you can take it with you. We don't charge a corkage fee, nothing like that.
Cool.
We can do special orders on some wines. Let us know. Email us. Email is 115craftnc@gmail.com.
Okay.
Or reach out to us through social media, whatever. And we can, you know, even if there's a special beer you like, we can try our best. There's no guarantees. But we do even the draft. Everything pretty much is available to go. Even our drafts, we do crowlers, 32-ounce can crowlers.
Yeah.
Slushies will be back here in the next month or so.
Yeah.
Frosés and stuff like that. So
I'm surprised how well those go.
Oh man, game changer. We bought our frosé machine at the other place in the middle of COVID. I mean, I had to put it on my personal credit card to get this thing. Like just trying something to bring in more revenue. And man, paid that thing off in like 2 weeks. It was nuts how quickly when we were even at that time, you could do them to go. So, but you may still be able to, but it's too much pain in the butt. But we'll have frosés, and we have, like I said, we have wine, we have mocktails, we have non-alcoholic beer, we have hard coffees. So we have everything but liquor right now. We're hoping to have liquor soon.
Yeah.
I mean, we have something for everybody, at least in my opinion.
Awesome.
You know, so come in, have a good time. We got a great crowd of locals. If you've never been here before, they're going to welcome you with open arms.
Cool.
They don't care who you are, whatever.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yes. And kind of McAdenville, man.
Yeah.
Great little town. Carolina Thread Trail runs through here. You know, when the weather gets a little bit better, you can hike, bike. You can hike and bike all the way up to Spencer Mountain if you want to. Hopefully someday you'll be able to go to Cramerton from the Carolina Thread Trail. We have river access. You can kayak. You can go down and see the, you're not to promote another bar, but you can go down to the tap room. It's for a good cause. The river room from the Catawba River Keepers. We like sharing the love. So great restaurant in town, Terramia, cool ice cream, coffee shop. I mean, we got a lot going on. It's a good day trip. Come hang out, and you're not far from Cramerton or Belmont, or, you know, so plenty to do. Yep. So I definitely recommend checking us out. I wanted to mention our podcast. Well, basically right now, I mean, it is definitely in its, starting out phase or whatever, but I think at least it's going to be some form of beer, bourbon, and breakfast. Something along those lines.
Okay.
You know, beer. The and is the only thing we're struggling with. It's like, do we just call it beer, bourbon, breakfast, or beer, bourbon? Anyway. And, we're basically, it's going to be me and a couple buddies getting together. We're going to try out a a local breakfast spot, or hell, we might even just do like Krispy Kreme one day, So, but trying out do different breakfasts, and because we got a lot of cool diners and stuff around here, and then opening up some unique beers and bourbons and trying them out, and a lot of BSing and just having fun, and we'll try to maybe inform people on what's going on at 115 Craft, right? Stuff like that, or even in the industry, so be fun, informative, and like I said, a lot of BS, but hopefully it'll be somewhat enjoyable. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. Yeah, man. I'll let you know as soon as we decide we get an episode good enough to upload. Hopefully next couple of weeks. Yeah. Awesome. So, well, Dwayne, thank you so much for being on this. Thank you, man. Of Beer. Glad to do it. Yeah. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah. Same here. And everyone, you can catch us every 2 weeks on Monday. Yeah, be on the lookout for this episode. And also we got one coming up with Jared Steele of Lost Worlds Brewing, talking about the new Midtown location. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up on all the episodes, and also all of our posts promoting these episodes. So thank you very much,
and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Behind the Beer. Please rate and review us on your favorite listening platform. Subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/@behindthebeer. If you would like to be a guest on Behind the Beer, email us at behindthebeer2020@gmail.com. Behind the Beer is produced by BWM Productions.